If you've ever watched someone you love forget your name, forget where they are, forget their own story, you know how cruel Alzheimer's disease can be. Over 6 million Americans are living with it right now. And for decades, we've been told the same thing. Memory loss is just part of getting older. There's nothing we can do. But what if that's not true? What if memory loss isn't permanent? Scientists at Virginia Tech just did something that changes everything. They reversed memory loss in aging brains. And I'm going to explain exactly how they did it. First, let's talk about what actually happens when we lose our memory. Your brain has about 86 billion neurons. These neurons talk to each other through connections called synapses. Every memory you have, every face, every name, every moment exists because of these connections. But as we age, something goes wrong. The neurons start to struggle. The connections weaken, and memories begin to fade. For about 40% of people over 65, this is just normal aging. But for millions of others, it becomes something worse. It becomes Alzheimer's disease. The thing is, for the longest time, we didn't know why this was happening. We knew the symptoms. We could see the brain shrinking on scans. But we couldn't pinpoint the exact molecular changes causing it. Until now. Dr. Timothy Jerome and his team at Virginia Tech just published 2 groundbreaking studies. And what they found is remarkable. They discovered that memory loss isn't caused by one single thing. It's caused by multiple molecular systems breaking down at the same time. Let me explain the first discovery. There's a process in your brain called K63 polyubiquitination. I know it's a mouthful, but basically it's like a tagging system that tells your brain which proteins to keep and which to get rid of. And here's the fascinating part. In the hippocampus, the part of your brain that forms memories, this tagging process goes up as you age. Too many tags. Too much cleanup. Memories get disrupted. But in the amygdala, the part that handles emotional memories, the opposite happens. The tagging process goes down with age. Not enough cleanup. Dysfunction builds up. So the researchers used a gene editing tool called CRISPR. You've probably heard of CRISPR. It's like molecular scissors that can cut and edit DNA. In the hippocampus, they lowered the tagging process. In the amygdala, they reduced it even further. And guess what? Memory improved in older rats. Both regions. Different problems. Same solution, fine-tuning the molecular process. But that's not all. The second study focused on a gene called IGF-2. IGF-2 is a growth factor that helps your brain form new memories. It's critical for learning. But as we age, this gene gets silenced. It's still there in your DNA, but it gets covered up by chemical tags like putting a piece of tape over a light switch. The gene can't turn on anymore. Using CRISPR, the Virginia Tech team removed those tags. They essentially flipped the switch back on. And when they did that, older rats could suddenly remember things they couldn't before. Their memory was restored. Dr. Jerome said something really important. When we turned the gene back on, the older animals performed much better. But middle-aged animals that didn't yet have memory problems weren't affected. That tells us timing matters. You can't just intervene randomly. You have to step in when things start to go wrong. So what does this actually mean for humans? Let's be clear. This research was done on rats, not people. There are no human trials happening yet. CRISPR gene therapy for the brain is incredibly complex. The brain is protected by something called the blood-brain barrier. It's like a security system that keeps harmful stuff out. But it also keeps most treatments out too. Delivering CRISPR to the exact right spot in a human brain? That's a massive challenge. And then there are safety concerns. CRISPR can have off-target effects, meaning it might accidentally edit the wrong gene. In the brain, that could be catastrophic. So we're talking years, maybe a decade or more, before this becomes a real treatment option for people. But here's why this research matters right now. For the first time, we have proof that memory loss can be reversed. It's not a one-way street. The brain can be brought back. We now have specific molecular targets, specific genes, specific processes. Before this, we were shooting in the dark. Now we have a roadmap. And that changes everything for Alzheimer's research. Currently, the drugs we have, like aducanumab and lecanemab, only modestly slow cognitive decline. They don't reverse it. They don't bring memories back. But this research opens the door to therapies that could actually restore what's been lost. Not just stop the decline. Reverse it. Dr. Jerome said something that really stuck with me. Everyone has some memory decline as they get older. But when it becomes abnormal, the risk for Alzheimer's disease rises. What we're learning is that some of those changes happening at a molecular level can be corrected. That's the key word, corrected. Not managed. Not slowed down. Corrected. This research also tells us something important about how we should be thinking about Alzheimer's. It's not one disease with one cause. It's a constellation of molecular breakdowns happening at the same time. The hippocampus breaks down one way. The amygdala breaks down another way. Genes get silenced. Proteins build up. And all of this happens together. That means future treatments probably won't be a single drug. There'll be combination therapies, multiple interventions targeting multiple systems. Kind of like how we treat cancer now, not with one drug, but with combinations tailored to the specific mutations. Look, this won't bring back everyone we've lost. My own mother passed away from Alzheimer's just 2 weeks ago. And no amount of future research will change that. But maybe, just maybe, this means fewer families will have to watch someone they love disappear while they're still here. Maybe it means the next generation won't have to fear forgetting. And that's worth hoping for. If this research gives you hope, drop a comment below. Let me know if someone you love has been affected by Alzheimer's. And subscribe, because breakthroughs like this deserve attention. Science like this deserves to be shared. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. Stay hopeful.